All right, with Season 3 quick landing, about 5 days left on that-ish. I'm going to take a look ahead to Season 4 since Mythic Plus is always near and dear to my heart. It is the reason I play the game, really. I'll raid on occasion, no PvP except to get a couple of the transmogs. But other than that, Mythic Plus is the reason that I play this game and I push into the late into the season. You know, I hit 3K with my hunter this time round, so ready to push on to Season 4. But I'm going to take a second, look at these changes. I'm going to start with the dungeon progression, which I'm very interested in. You know, we've all heard about it. It is a little difficult to understand because, you know, if you haven't been involved in it, you really wouldn't know how to kind of where you should start. So right now, if you look at where you are, normals are normal, no matter what, Season 3, Season 4, and then even onto the War Within. This is where it gets kind of different. If you look where normal is versus heroic now, and you look to normal and versus heroic, you know, in 5 days, you know, so heroic will actually be on par with a Mythic 0 this from Season 3, so it'll make it more useful to a lot of people. Then you move on to once you get to a Mythic 0 in the new version, you'll be actually currently running a Mythic 10. You know, I ended the season somewhere in this realm, so I'm hoping that I can, you know, kick the doors open to Season 4 and push right to I'll be comfortable because there will be later changes that I'll be talking about that are dungeon specific coming up later in this video. But I really would like to jump in here because a Mythic 10 in Season 4 will be your Mythic 20. You know, we have the great push coming this season, so we'll see actually how high these keys can actually be pushed. So it's actually going to make dungeons more useful for all type of players. You know, everybody ranging from, you know, your average daily or to your hardcore sweat lords. So, which I don't think I'm there, but I want to be. I'm in the market for finding somebody new to play with because, you know, I want a team of people that can push and, you know, get that 3K, get top in the world, you know, whatever it takes to get there, because I find that fun. A couple things that they are changing if we look a little further down. So like I said, normal's normal. There will be no timers actually from the heroic version to Mythic 0. There's no timers, which is really cool. So which would actually be a 10 in the world. But that's why I'm here talking about it today, because it's a little bit confusing. So, yes, you'll lose some timers, give people more of a chance to learn the mechanics, understand what their character and their class is supposed to do, and maybe you won't have as many tanks and healers and everybody just up and quitting after one wipe. You know, where I play, that will continue, because that's just nature of the beast. All right, if you look to the heroic aspect of everything, you know, you'll be able to get equivalent to your heroic's going to give you a Mythic 0 amount of gear. Now, obviously, we know the gear updating system is there, you know, with Explorer, Champion, Hero, and Mythic, all those tracks of gear that you have, you're going to be able to get all that kind of stuff in there. You know, if you look at so it says right here, the Mythic Plus system will have rewards up to level 10 and a +2 starting from what would regularly be a +11 in the current Mythic system. So it'll follow suit. It'll be a little easier for people to get better gear, which then actually helps the community, you know, thrive and move on. So fixes would slide in at a +2. So you're even looking at a Mythic 0 and a plus, and like with no affixes, no timer, no nothing. Then you go to a +2 where you get Fortified Tyrannical, which is just, you know, your basic. It's your white bread of the world. You need it. +5, which, looking back up, a +5 is going to be in this world. Like, that's pretty good. You know, you got to think about that. You're running high, so you already know what you're doing by then. You'll just get your basic affixes, and then with your +10 on is where you get the harder one. You know, the third affix, the one that you're going to be sitting there worried about. Now, when you scroll down here and look at this is the table that is just full of information. You know, they put it on a little slider bar on this website on Blizzard. So you obviously go down your hero, champion, veteran. So you scroll over. We're just going to pretend we understand that this is lowest to highest. Scrolling over, you'll look. So this is where your Mythic Zeros start right here. 2s, 3, 4s, and then these are your item levels that you're actually going to get. So you'll be able to get items from Heroic, upgrade it, and be somewhere in this realm to start pushing, you know, this area. So the top looks like it's going to be a 522 get with the option to still increase it. So, you know, with that, you need crests and flight stones. You know, we hate that. More currencies to spend. Sure, we love it. It's a Blizzard thing. You're going to get the same. Whelp crests don't exist anymore because they just don't need to. You can get it from outdoor content. You'll get bonus flight stones for increasing, you know, when you increase the Mythic Plus score, like I always try to do. Every time I try to run something, it's to increase a score. And then you'll just get that Aspect Crest, Worm Crest, all those kind of things. You know, you'll get the appropriate amount whether you beat it or not. So you'll be able to actually sit there, take your time. You know, obviously the War Within Alpha just started, so you have time to enjoy Season 4 and get your gear up, get ready to venture on with Anduin, Thrall, and the gang to the new place. But in the meanwhile, you know, I like to think of every dungeon. You know, we brought back some old ones, some faves. I'm in the process of running them all one more time so I can say I enjoyed them till the end, because I still don't think I played enough Freehold. But they did actually do some changes that were, I'm going to say, quote-unquote, undocumented to the 8, because you're getting the original 8 Dragonflight dungeons back, which, when you think about it, you loved, hate, probably a mix of both throughout the whole thing. But I think they're starting to focus on a couple things that did change a few, you know, that'll make life a little bit easier. So, if you read the title of this, abilities now scaling with Keystone level. We'll see how that goes. But, I mean, we get Algothar Academy back, Asher Vaults, Breckenhide Hollow, Halls of Infusion, No Coup Defensive, Ruby Life Pools, Uldaman, and what's that other one? Can't think of it right now. I'll put that up in the top. But, so, some good changes, you know, like as I say, the Soulbound Scepter's Mystic Blast now can only be stopped, not interrupted, so you can save those interrupts for something else, and other people can, you know, focus on that in different ways. Arcane Rain's being removed, so it moves the stop that players were using the Rain Blast so they can kick other things, so it makes it a little bit easier when I, in particular, think across that bridge that you're crossing when you come out of the starting area and you go left. That's where the scepter, like the main scepter is that I remember. The Croth's Tornadoes are better looking, new and improved. So you see them, as you can see in this video that is on Wowhead from Dorky, that the animations look a lot more vibrant, a little more noticeable, so you'll be able to see everything. Got the tornadoes, the fires, all the things. Moving on to Azure Vaults. This is where the skip was, and which now I do believe you do die. Because when I was leveling a new character, everybody was like, oh, let's do the skip. As soon as you cross onto that thing, you drop dead. So it's a death wall. Congratulations. Now we have to run the dungeon the way it was intended to be run. But more importantly, Umber Skull's crystals are going to spawn closer. I don't know if you've run that, and when, I forget, what was that, Season 1? That you would be close to the boss, the crystals would then teleport behind you, and then you have to figure out there, all while being chased by this thing that takes you down and tries to kill you. So, very excited. Maybe they'll group up a little better. You can AoE them down, but more people in the group with the practice that they're going to get from Heroic to Mythic Zeros, that they'll actually be able to take their time, swap targets, and kill them down. You know, as hard as that sounds, people still forget to do that. Moving on to Breckenhide Hollow. Withering damage tripled and now scales with key level, which sucks. I hate Breckenhide anyway. You know, I was talking to a buddy of mine. What do you prefer Breckenhide Hollow on? Do you prefer it on Tyrannical or Fortified? Neither. Neither is that option. It's terrible no matter what, because the trash is plentiful and tough, and the bosses are kind of ridiculous. I think of the first boss, you know, the 3-pack. What are you supposed to do with that? You know, that's where groups make or break. If you can beat that, in my eyes, you can move on and beat the whole dungeon. And then Withering sourced from Rotsinger's totems now double dips from key level. Withered Oak's Necrotic Breath is no longer interruptible, so that kind of sucks. But something that we can go away and move on with. We just have to, you know, as a melee player, as a survival hunter, I have to pay attention to a lot more things. I did Beast Mastery for a good chunk of the season 3 and 2. Then I came back and decided that I want to, you know, be a survival hunter and try to see where I can be and be on the front lines and poke people with a spear. Halls of Infusion, another banger that we all hated. The frog, the statue, please forgive me, I don't have all these names memorized because it's been, you know, as soon as season's end, I dump everything and then move on to the next. But Primal Tsunami's phases at 60% health, not 50 like the patch notes had indicated. So that's good. So you just got to burn them down to 60, get them it, and hopefully you can do it in a 2-phase process. I do want to say that I did read somewhere that they added a respawn point at the frog, because that run back, you know, from the start of the dungeon, like if you were to wipe beyond the frog, you had start all the way back, you had to open up the skip. It was really annoying. Never did open up the skip, so you just crossed your fingers and ran headfirst in and hoped you didn't die. No coup defensive. You know, I like the idea of that dungeon. I think the Dragonflight aspect's cool. The major area, the vastness of it's neat. You're not in a closed space like all dungeons, but this one was pretty cool, but they all sucked. So the Desecrated Ahuna now casts a new version of Rotting Wind, dealing AoE dot damage to the entire party if cast used to only be a frontal cone. So less to pay attention to, yet you're going to get hit regardless. Same thing, the Rotting Wing has an anti-sync tech, preventing multiple from being cast at the same time, which is good because you think, I think if I remember correctly, you pull 2 to 3, and when that happens, you know, it's going to suck. And then Ukel Beastcaller's Desecrating Roar is now uninterruptible and summons 5 dogs, was 3. So that'll add a little flair to the dungeon if you choose to fight it. Actually, if you read on, it says kind of you avoid it now. So we just have to make sure that now the kicks go after the Rotting Winds, and you can just, you know, try to take care of it one at a time. Ruby Life Pools. God, I think as the more I scroll down this list, the worse dungeons get. Ruby Life Pools was traditionally a, you know, appeared to be an easy dungeon because I think of, it was a 3-boss dungeon. I think of Maw of Souls back in the day in Legion. That was always a quick one, easy one to run through. Not this one. Ruby Life Pools is a massive irritation. First boss sucks. Second boss sucks. And the third one does as well. But in this one, the small change that the Flame Channeler's Flash Fire now has a 15-second cooldown, while it's 12. So it gives you 3 extra seconds. That will line with a lot of melee's interrupts. I'm thinking of mine. I'll be able to do a little bit better, you know, as long as you pay attention. That should no problem. So that's actually a perk to that dungeon. We're getting a mix in this list of, you know, ups and downs. Uldaman, cool one. I think, you know, I'm glad they brought that one back and redesigned it. I think it was cool to bring in some of the historical lore from that dungeon back into Dragonflight, and we kind of see where it's going. The Lost Dwarves Fiery Surge damage now scales with key level. So where I hope to start in the +9s, 8, 9, 10 range, it'll be a little hurtful, but should be able to manage well because I think I can jump in with, you know, equally skilled players and just run along with it. Same fight, Lost Dwarves, their Burning Pitch damage now scales with key level as well. I'm interested to see how this goes. You know, I don't know how many other abilities in dungeons that scaled per key level, but they're advertising this, so we'll see if it actually makes a detrimental change to the dungeon itself, or is that going to be a pinch point for everybody. You know, I'm very excited about Season 4. I've been playing Season 3. I haven't stopped, where, like I said before, a lot of my friends have stopped. They took a pause. They're playing other games. You know, Dragon's Dogma, Baldur's Gate, Helldivers, all those games that are out there that, you know, I have dabbled in, but I still come back to my true love, and that is pushing Mythic Plus. And I will hopefully drop videos for Season 4 on the first day to see where I can do, so make sure to come back, as well as like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video in Dragonflight, getting ready for the War Within, and I will see you later.